So I'm going to be talking about lesson 1.3, Linger Finger. This is for emergent level readers, and the genre or the text type is any type of book that has pictures. So that's kind of nice. You have a wide range to pick from. The skill that students are going to be focusing on is noticing detail. So the strategy for this lesson is to really take the time and pause along each of the pictures and use your linger finger to, point and talk about each of the pictures on the page and try to relate the pictures to the story as well as like the students. This will help keep the students engaged and it will help them develop the story in their head kind of prior to reading the story, so that will help them also like comprehend it because they are learning the story through the pictures as well as learning them through our reading that we're going to be doing. So for this lesson, like I had said, it is really important to slow down and make sure that you are taking everything in on each page. You should not turn the page until you think that all of your students have processed all of the information and noticed everything on the page. Ask them questions before turning the page, is there anything else that you noticed? Is there any pictures that we didn't point to? Is anyone confused about anything? Just try to get them to be fully aware and just all on the same, level before turning the page. So you can maybe ask them if anything stood out to them or why did it stand out to them? Did anybody like the picture? What picture was their favorite? Does anybody have stuff similar to that at home? It just kind of depends on what you're reading to kind of base your questions off of. So for my example, I'm going to use the book Jake Travels Back in Time. I really like this book. I think it's really, really cute. It's filled with a lot of vibrant pictures, and I feel like it will keep the students engaged the whole entire time. So I covered up the words in the book with some sticky notes because I feel like students will probably get a little bit distracted by the words in the book. So if you cover them up, then they're only going to focus on the pictures, and that's what we want. We want them to notice the details in the pictures. After they have noticed every detail that we could possibly, find, then we can uncover the words and read about, kind of what is going on in the story. And then we can make that connection of oh yeah, we were on track, we were right about kind of what's going on. And that kind of helps them when they're making those connections when we're reading, then they're going to remember that because they're oh yeah, I remember because we had already talked about that and then we were right. So it helps with the comprehension as well. So there's a lot of qualities in this small little linger finger that you are going to be using with your students. So I'm going to start by talking about the cover of the book. So let's think about this. So it says Jake travels back in time. So who do you think Jake is? Do you think Jake is maybe this guy over here? This little dinosaur? No? Is he maybe this blue dinosaur? No? No? Maybe I think Jake is this guy down here. I think he's this little guy down here. So it says that Jake, he travels back in time. Do you think Jake travels back in time to see monkeys? No, right? I think Jake travels back in time to see some dinosaurs. Right. I think that's what he does. But how does he do that? travel back in time? Does he have a time machine? Does he use his imagination when he's playing? I mean, does he read a book about dinosaurs maybe? I don't know. Let's see how he travels back in time. So, it looks to me like Jake is laying in bed, right? He's reading a story. He's pretty happy about reading a story, right? Do you think it is light, daytime, or nighttime outside right now? I think in the story it is nighttime. So maybe he's reading a bedtime story, right? Looks like Jake has some pretty cool green curtains here with some stars on them to kind of match his green rug down here. Does anybody have curtains in their bedroom? What color curtains do you guys have? I have blue curtains in my bedroom. It looks like he's got a blue rug right here. Kind of matches the blue walls. He's got some slippers right here. Does anybody wear slippers at home? No? I don't wear slippers at home. Looks like he's got some toys on the ground. Maybe a stuffed animal right here and a ball. He's got a little like Rubik's Cube, a little building block, something like that over here. What do you guys think this is? Yeah, he's got his lamp right here, and he's got his little picture frame right here. Do you think maybe he's got a picture of like his mom and his dad, or what do you think is in this picture frame? What would you put in your picture frame right here next to your bed? I would have a picture of my niece and my nephews. That's what I would have. So it looks like we had said, it looks like Jake is pretty happy. He's reading his story. Does it look like he is reading a story about monkeys? No, right? I think he's reading a story about dinosaurs. Should we read and find out maybe what he's reading about? Read what the story is about? What do you think? What do you think we're going to read about? Do you think we're going to read about him maybe laying in bed, reading his bedtime story? Maybe they'll tell us what the story is named or what it's about. Let's find out. Okay, so let's turn. All right, is everybody ready to turn the page? Does anybody see anything else that we didn't talk about? It looks like there is a duck right there and some books. He's got his stars hanging up. He's got the plants and the bed and the dresser. He's got a pretty nice room, it looks like, huh? All the good things. We're gonna turn the page and whoa, something's going on. Okay, so it looks like something is falling out of the sky, right? What could be falling out of the sky, do you think? Is it a star? Is it maybe, is it maybe a box? I don't know. I don't know what it would be. Looks like he's pretty surprised though to see something falling out of the sky. Maybe he looks shocked like us. Like, what could this be, right? Yeah, so he's kneeling on his bed. He's peeking out the window. And then it looks like he's gonna run over. Oh, and look, he puts his slippers on that we were talking about. Did you remember when we said that we saw his slippers by his bed? So he slips those on. It looks like he grabs his flashlight, right? And he's out of here. He is trying to figure out what is going on. So he is running, right? He is running out of his room to go see what's going on. Okay, so let's read about what's going on. Okay, so kind of, I mean, obviously it is based off of what story you read and how you can make comments and how you can ask questions. But it's really important to try to keep asking those questions and making those comments to keep the readers engaged and keep them thinking about the story and how the pictures relate to the story. I feel like it's super important to cover up the words first to get them to think about the pictures and not get overwhelmed with everything going on and, kind of distracted by the words. But yeah, thanks.